What's up? This is officially the first episode of the Eurostep podcast. I'm Max, and with me we have Armand's here.
Hey guys.
So, today is the July 25th of 2020, and as you guys know, the NBA season has started on July 22nd with a few scrimmage games. And to be honest with you guys, I've been really excited. You know, it's been great watching basketball back, knowing that COVID has been affecting everything. And the obvious reasons are that some players are not here, but still, I don't think it should take away that the scrimmages are back. Teams get to finally play each other, and they finally get to improve as well.
It's been like a whole off season of not having basketball, like a full blown day wise. So it's just nice seeing anything in general because sports has just been halted for like the past couple months.
I know, it's been like, for me, it's been literally unbearable because I love basketball a lot. We've been talking a lot about basketball, so it's been really tough. All right, so as you guys know, the season started on the 22nd. So the first game, like we officially watched, was the Clippers versus the Magic. And to be honest, I was very excited for that game. I was expected to see Paul George. I wasn't expecting Kawhi that much because it's a scrimmage game, and he does have that load management thing.
Yeah, but Paul played really great. Like even before the season started, we had reports of him saying that his shoulder is not bothering him anymore, and you could really see in that first game that he went off.
Yeah, it was good that he was hitting a few shots as well, but I also like that one reverse layup he had. I think it was in the first quarter.
Yeah, one of the first buckets he had.
That was pretty
nice.
good. But other than that, there was Lou Williams, who led the game in scoring with 22. And what I think is fascinating is that, he somehow had this nickname that was called the Underground Goat. So I went up and searched on that, and of an interview that I saw, he said that he is the best player next to all the best players. I think it's pretty cool.
Lou said that?
Yeah, Lou Williams said that.
All right.
I think it's pretty cool because, he obviously has 3 Sixth Man of the Year awards. So I think it's a pretty cool comment that he calls himself the Underground Goat. Because, he's not the tallest player on the court, but he'll guaranteed get buckets.
Yeah. Has there even been a game where he's not scored at least 10 points? I think that's pretty rare to see these days.
To be honest, it is pretty rare to see these days.
Other than that, we didn't have Beverly. We also didn't have Harrell. But I think what was nice is their depth because Noah started at center and Reggie Jackson started point guard over Ivica Zubac, who also is not playing. But I'm just impressed with their depth because Noah looked really good on offense, making all the right passes and, speeding up the ball movement. It was also nice to see Marcus Morris. When he gets the ball, he shoots it instead of dribbling it a little bit and disrupting the ball movement. So I liked seeing that.
Yeah, and about Joakim Noah, I think with his stat line, you're always like he's guaranteed a winning player. I guess that's a common occurrence whenever Joakim Noah plays. He gets some sort of like miniature triple double. Like he always gets a few assists, always gets a few rebounds, always gets a few points in succession every game at least.
Prime Noah is something else.
Yeah, he was. He wasn't he fourth in MVP voting that one season.
So he was really. Third? I think either fourth or third. Like he had a really good season.
He had an amazing season.
But his only problem right now is his defense. He couldn't really keep up with Nikola Vucevic that game. But if he plays limited minutes off the bench in general, I think he should be fine. He brings a lot to the team.
I think Noah could, apply, or not say apply, but I think he could do a lot more than what people think, knowing his age and knowing how he's played as well.
And I think it's a steal for the contract he's on right now.
Wait, what contract is he on?
He signed a 10-day, but the 10-day lasted until like up to now. So it was probably the longest 10-day contract in history.
That's a.
But he got signed for the rest of the season on the minimum. So
hey, that's fine. Joakim got to do what he got to do. So All right. So on Orlando's side, personally, I did not see that much other than you know what I see. Nikola Vucevic normally carrying the load. I mean, he was an All Star last season, and this. I mean, I guess on this scrimmage he had a double double with 18 points and 10 rebounds. But other than that, at least for what I saw, there wasn't anything much that eventful with Orlando.
We had Michael Carter Williams playing solid in the first quarter or half, was it?
Yeah, I think it was in the first quarter he had 8 points, and he was hitting the mid range. He was driving and he was hitting a few free throws. So I guess that was a solid start for him as well.
He was the best in the team in regards of plus minus. He had +6. All the starters were, in the minuses, double digits. So I guess you could say he was probably their best player in that game. Other than that, we saw the new look Mo Bamba.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
I think he gained like 20 pounds of muscle.
and you could actually see that. Him running up the court, you could, yeah, you can just tell he wasn't really himself. Like he looked a little bit sluggish, in my opinion.
I didn't pay that much attention to him, but at least when I saw him in those brief moments, he looked like a new guy with the muscle that he'd gained as well.
Yeah, it's 6 minutes, but uh, that's not a large sample size. But I'm hoping he gets used to the new weight and the new muscle he added, and well, he should potentially in some point in time take over Nikola Vucevic's spot. But we just have to see how he does right now and if he's ready for it.
Yeah, because like right now we haven't seen that much from him at all in his career. I mean,
Before we go on to the next team, I wanted to quote Terrence Ross, who also had a pretty decent game. He had 14 points. He did shoot only 3 of 9, but he scored all his free throws. He said that shooters will get really hot in the bubble because the pictures around the hoop, they're like static, they're not moving, so it's much easier to focus on the rim.
damn.
And you could see that from a couple of teams. One down the line, Seth Curry in Dallas.
And
We'll
also
talk about that, yeah.
yeah, and I think
But
there's also Miami as well. Duncan Robinson.
yes, yes, and I think that's a pretty interesting thing from Terrence Ross that we could, look forward to in the next games.
I'm actually excited to see what will happen with the 3-point shooting now, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean it's evolved. Like I think every year we get more 3-point shots, and it's just getting absurd at this point.
I think it's just gonna increase at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, there were like rumors that they're gonna add a 4-point line. Do you think? I don't know if that's beneficial though.
Well, have you seen the Ice Cube's the 3v3 league?
The big three, yeah, they're there.
Yeah, they have like like these circles.
Yeah, that's the 4-point line.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd like circles. I'd probably just like in 2K we have like the Ruffles Ridge.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm hoping if they do decide to put in the 4-point line that looks that way. All right, so I guess we can start talking about the second game we saw.
I swear, Denver.
Oh no.
Denver Nuggets. I thought there was something. I thought there was a bug with when they showed the lineups, but I guess not. I guess the main story of this game, 100%, was Bol Bol at small forward, and also playing really well.
You can see the starting lineup as in 2K when you got the glitched cards out of the position.
Oh yeah,
It basically looked like that. We got Nikola Jokic at point guard, Jeremy Grant at shooting guard. The only player who actually played, like the only two players who actually played in their positions were Mason Plumlee at center and Millsap at power forward.
everything else was everything else was just. Yeah, I honestly can't explain that lineup. It's the
Actually,
anti-Houston lineup.
I mean, they do have a lot of injuries where Gary Harris didn't play, neither did Torrey Craig, Jamal Murray, and Will Barton. So the only guard they really had was Troy Daniels, who had an amazing game with 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists.
Yeah, he shot the ball really well from three. That's all I know from him, at least.
But yeah, so they had 7 big men and only 1 guard. So I think it was Malone had to try something out, and it looked pretty funny when he did it. I also saw a tweet from Daryl Morey he had a tweet about like a picture of like a Goliath,
Okay.
and yeah, basically the complete opposite of what Houston's doing. So I thought that was pretty funny.
I guess you can describe Goliath as Denver in that lineup because that was just a massive lineup. I mean, I'm looking at all their players now. Almost all of them are, or at least the majority of them, they're forwards. That's how I see it. They have Noah Vonleh, Jokic, Grant, Plumlee, Millsap, and Bull.
Yeah, seven big men, one guard.
That's just length. Jesus.
You can see the new Jokic. He slimmed down, but he still could do his own in the post. He had 16, 7, and 7, so he looked pretty decent.
That's pretty good. That's really good. I mean, I just want to see a bigger sample size next time. Like he played 26 minutes. I'd love to see him play a little bit over 30. And I guess
But you have to remember it's a scrimmage game and it's only 40 minutes long, so he did play a hefty amount of time. But you can also contribute that to the fact that they only had 8 players active.
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
What do you like from Washington?
What I like from Washington, there wasn't much other than that Rui Hachimura. He flirted with a double double, having 18 points and 9 rebounds. But other than that, there wasn't much really. There wasn't much that popped my eye necessarily.
I think it's going to be really tough for them missing players like Wall, Beal, and Bertans to get in the playoffs. And Rui really has to be their first option because they really have nothing to lead the offense. So it has to be him, and he has to take on a bigger role.
I guess we can see more what Isaac Bonga can do as well. I guess he was highly touted when he was drafted as well.
Yeah, but I think many people have said he's improved over this season. So, him starting at the small forward spot, it means like he's trending in the right direction. So I'm really excited to see what he can bring.
Yeah, I think he can be solid. I think he can be really solid as well. I just want to see what more he can do. But I guess it's his second season, so I guess it'll obviously take time as well. But
Yep.
like that's just me though. That's just me. All right. So the next game we have which I would describe an NBA team versus a G League team, my guy. I mean, this lineup, right? This Brooklyn lineup. Let me see the Brooklyn lineup real quick. Their leading scorer was John Musa with 11, and I guess one of their best players for that lineup per se is Jarrett Allen, who led the team in rebounds with 10. There isn't much for me to explain with that, really. But,
What I saw from the Nets, I don't understand. Do you understand why Timothy's starting at power forward?
Luau Cabarro, to be honest,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess he's their best option.
I'd
At
put
power forward?
Kurucs over him any day of the week. He actually fits the power forward spot. Plus, he played a really decent game.
Yeah, Kurucs played really well. I'm looking at his stats now. All around really good for 20 minutes per game. Not for 20 minutes, I mean. That's a solid performance, to be honest.
Another thing for the Nets is their big lineup. They don't have DeAndre Jordan, and besides Jarrett Allen, they only have Donta Hall, who I've never heard of. I guess he played in the G League, but they have to go real small ball at times if they want to compete.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think with all the players they have, I think small ball is the only chance they have of playing, like at least competing. So I guess we're gonna have to see Joe Harris do well. We're gonna probably have to see Karis LeVert pick up the load as well. At least for both of them, I think they're the key players for their success. But to be honest, I don't see them going far. I don't see them going far.
Yeah, and they didn't even have Joe Harris.
Yeah.
For that game, he was. Or actually, I don't see him on
He-
the injury report, so
he
it's
didn't
interesting.
he didn't play, by the looks
Yeah,
of it.
but I don't see the reason to why he didn't play.
Yeah, me neither.
All right. But yeah, they just have a lot of guards and no real true point guard. They only have Chris Chioza. He did have a decent game even though he shot at 2 of 9, but he had 4 rebounds and 4 assists. And I think he has to be, really good moving forward if they even want to have a chance. And what I was thinking about is if you look at the standings right now, I think actually the Wizards might have a slight chance of edging out Brooklyn uh, for the eighth spot because I don't see Brooklyn winning any games at the restart.
Yeah,
They have, yeah.
me neither. I don't see them going far. Their lineup is, uh, I I don't see them winning a single game going into this, at least on paper. I mean, if Karis LeVert plays really well, Jared Allen plays really well, Rodion Skurwicz could play really well, and even Joe Harris could play well. We're gonna have to hope that the whole starting five plays, at least above their average in order for them to have a chance to keep going.
They have two game. The Nets have two games against the Magic and a game against the Wizards. So those games are probably going to be the deciders for if they're going to make the playoffs or not. I think the Magic are probably going to get the seventh seed because right now they're just a lot better than Brooklyn with what they have.
Yeah.
And yeah, Karis LeVert, they're probably their only scoring option. He had a pretty bad game, shooting 5 of 18. So he definitely has to pick up the load when the season resumes in order to at least hold on to the playoff spot.
Yeah, I don't think it's this year for Karis. I think maybe next year or in 2 years. I think we'll see Karis blossom a lot more, maybe into a plus 20 points per game scorer. But
You think that's going to happen with KD and Kyrie?
I mean, not with KD and with Kyrie, but I'm talking. I guess what I meant is, I guess after that, when Karis LeVert is a little bit older, I guess that's his potential, a 20 points per game scorer, and like a kind of like a Lou Williams effect, like you get instant buckets. I guess that's what that's what I meant.
All right. What about the Pelicans?
The Pelicans, I thought they looked really good. I'm looking at the box score right here, and you see a lot of players with a lot of all-around performances. Brandon Ingram, he played, I guess he had a standard game. He had 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 57% from the field, and 60% from the three this game. I think it's solid for 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, those are pretty good stats for 10 minutes, and he was one of 5 players who scored double-digit points in this game.
Yeah, the one who surprised me, was Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I'm glad he did really well with 14, 4, and 4.
Do you think he's gonna get minutes when the season resumes, though?
I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so. Just because the guards, they're pretty loaded with Lonzo, Drew, JJ Redick, and Josh Hart. Those 4 are even enough for point guard and shooting guard backups, with each other. So I don't think Alexander Walker will get a lot of minutes now, but maybe in the future when JJ Redick's maybe out of the team, Nickeil Alexander Walker could step up and become a backup. But wait, hang on. Do you think you'd put each one more over him?
I think they're kind of even. I think they run more Etuan more right now than Nickeil. He did start the season when it started, but I think he fell off and he wasn't getting any decent minutes. But yeah, I think Etuan right now it fits them because he's a knockdown shooter, and yeah, Nickeil is only shooting 33% field goal this season, so that's kind of terrible, and I'd take Etuan right now any day.
I know, but I still think down the line Alexander Walker I think he'll pick it up.
Yeah, maybe like his brother. Look at him.
How's his brother doing?
Shy, baby.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that's his brother?
Yeah.
Wait, really? I did not I did not know that.
All right. And other than that, I think Zion's coming back. We got news early last night, and he's been tested every day. So I guess it's only a matter of time before he clears all the protocols and he's ready.
I think Zion will play really well when everything starts over again. I guess the regular season starts. I think he'll do really well. I think he's enough to carry them to the 8th spot. Because based on how Memphis has started, which we'll come into later, and how New Orleans has started, I think, at least after these first scrimmage games, I think New Orleans could catch up to Memphis.
Yeah, I think both them and Portland have a huge chance of making run for that eighth seed.
Yeah, it's really interesting, in my opinion. It's really
All right.
also that New Orleans, they have the easiest schedule coming forward, so I think that's also a big reason for why they'll catch up to the eighth seed.
Yeah, they have a really easy schedule.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next game we have the Miami Heat versus the Sacramento Kings, and other than Duncan Robinson, I mean, what you mentioned with Terrence, what did you mention with Terrence Ross and the rims again? What was the issue? What was the things with the rims?
I guess like there was no like moving picture and like the background was static, so that means they have much more time and energy to focus on the rim, and it's much easier to score, I guess.
I mean, damn. By the looks of things, it was completely right with Duncan Robinson this game. He had five threes made, and he had 18 points. So, I guess that proved Terrence Ross's thing way correctly, because Duncan Robinson played well for Miami, and Buddy Hield, he played well for Sacramento as well, with three threes made.
Yeah. I think Miami in general they have a huge chance of pulling off an upset, not only in the first round but also in the second round, maybe upsetting a team like Milwaukee with their full lineup having Bam.
I
What do
mean,
you think about that?
I think they can do it. In the regular season, Miami was the only team that beat Milwaukee twice, if I'm correct. And what I
Is
know,
that right?
yeah, with what I saw, that they were just swarming the paint to make sure Giannis shoots jump shots. I guess that's what they were doing. But I can see them upset. I can see them upset a team like Milwaukee in the second round. I mean, Jimmy Butler, you know how Jimmy Butler is. He's a workhorse. He loves, stay in the gym, but also with the young players that have been stepping up tremendously with Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, and Kendrick Nunn. I think those are three pleasant surprises for the team this season.
Shout out to Spo and Pat Riley for having the culture,
Oh yeah,
because I think that's the reason why all the players have stepped up and they're doing as good as they are.
yeah. It just makes me think when I remember Dwayne Wayne got drafted. I guess you can see it somewhere, but in the video you see Pat Riley. You see Pat Riley give Dwayne Wade this huge book, which Dwayne Wade has to read. I don't know if I think it was about team rules and what you have to do to stay on the team and stuff.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I like if they embodied Dwayne Wade in that culture, I could see how Jimmy Butler flourishes in Miami even more now.
One thing I wanted to add about Sacramento is their injuries with De'Aaron Fox and Marvin Bagley. We know De'Aaron is going to be back at some point, hopefully before the resumption, the regular season is resuming. But Marvin Bagley, he's gone. He suffered an injury again, and man, that guy's just made out of glass in my opinion.
It feels like he's been injured for most of his career at this point. I mean, how many?
This year in particular.
But I think I really wish Marvin Bagley would not be as injury prone, because I thought he was a really great fit with Sacramento. At least with what De'Aaron
He's
Fox
a good player. It's just it sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah, because I want to see what Marvin Bagley can become. I mean, I saw him since high school. He was tearing it up at high school. But it's just sad. It's just sad that he's injured again, because I really want to see him play well.
Yeah.
I mean, Buddy Hield, he had 19. Bielitsa, he has 13. Cam Bazemore had 11. I think Bielitsa is a very underrated role player for any team that he plays on. What do you think?
Especially this season, I think he's really stepped up. He's filled a lot of shoes, bearing the injuries to both Bagley and Rashawn Holmes. He's always been in that starting lineup, and he's just torching the 3-point line.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's shooting very well.
But they do need Barnes, Len, and Holmes back ASAP if they want to have at least a little bit of chance of making the playoffs. I don't think they will, but they need those players to at least have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, their lineup right now is generally kind of small. They have Corey Joseph, they have Yogi Ferrell, they have Buddy Hield. Harry Giles. I guess Harry Giles is our biggest player so far that I've mentioned. So I guess it'll be a little bit tough. Do you know where? Wait, do you know where Rashawn Holmes was?
Before Sacramento.
No, not before Sacramento, but
What he's like? Why he isn't playing?
yeah, why isn't playing?
Good question. Let me search it up.
Because Rashawn Holmes was a huge bright spot for the Kings this season.
I don't see him in the injury report, but oh yeah, dude.
But
Remember the thing with Kelly Oubre talking about
oh
talking
yeah,
to Rashawn Holmes about the pickup.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I think I know why he didn't play. He has
So,
to
yeah.
quarantine, baby.
God damn. Players can't even pick up food. I mean, order from outside. That's.
I mean, that was hilarious.
It
though.
was hella. It was really funny. Really funny. But Rashawn Holmes, I think he's a solid player for years to come. I really liked him this season. He gives a lot of energy and he gives a lot of grit on both sides. So I like that.
And produced some stats as well.
Produces great stats.
Want to move on?
Move on. Let's move on. For the next game, we have the Milwaukee Bucks versus the San Antonio Spurs. I watched this game, and honestly, I'm not surprised with what Giannis was doing at all. I mean, come on. In the first quarter alone, we were already seeing, like by the looks of it, no effort from Giannis in what he's doing. It looks like he's not even trying, but he's still forcing himself to the rim and finishing. I mean, you saw that one disallowed, I guess, offensive foul, right? When he just...
Yeah, he like pushed. I think he pushed off the guy. That's why it didn't count.
I know. It's a scrimmage, man. It's a scrimmage, and Giannis is still doing that. I mean, you can tell that he's gunning for the championship this season, especially after last season.
Yeah. Chris Middleton, he had a rough start. He was pretty rusty. But then he picked it up later and still finished up with 16, 3, and 5. Also, I really like the way Dante DiVincenzo plays.
Oh, he was...
Not only now, but, before the season got canceled.
Dante was...
And I think... Yeah,
No, I thought... Just wanted to add on. I thought Dante was great this game. I saw constantly that he was everywhere. Even on the defensive side, he was really good. I saw he was moving a lot. And even on offense, although he shot 25% from 3 this game, he was making all the right passes. He was making all the right cuts. So I was really impressed with Dante DiVincenzo. And George Hill as well. George Hill was playing really well as well with with his stat line as well.
When Eric Bledsoe comes back, I just really hope that DiVincenzo takes Matthews' spot as the starting shooting guard.
Yeah, I think
the reason why they haven't done is so that the bench is more stronger.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Yeah, I can understand that because Wesley Matthews, not that he's washed, but he's past his good days. I thought he was really well when he was playing in Portland with Damian Lillard and LaMarcus Aldridge and company. But I think right now his purpose is just to catch and shoot. I think that's all he's good for at the moment.
Yeah. What about the Spurs?
The Spurs, there wasn't anything. There wasn't much. Lonnie Walker, I'm happy that he played well with 14, 3 and 2. He shot 67% from 3, which I'm really happy with. And DeJounte Murray, he had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. But I didn't see that. I didn't see that much that that wowed me in this game. For the majority of what I saw was the Milwaukee defense playing really good defense, but most of the shots were either from a lot of ISO plays, driving and kicking, and if not, I saw quite a lot of off-screen plays for Marco Bellinelli. Could curl around the screen and hit a mid-range.
Yeah, I think they're really missing Aldridge. They need like a second scorer right now.
I know. I think LaMarcus Aldridge is really, really underrated with what people are saying. People can say, yeah, obviously, I'm not going to discredit what LeBron is doing. LeBron is absolutely amazing for keep playing at 35. But how about LaMarcus Aldridge as well? Like, he's been consistently, not on the same level as LeBron, but he's been consistently posting great stats every season.
How old is LaMarcus?
I think he's 35, 36. He's 35. He's 35.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty good. So they're gonna need LaMarcus back, but I don't know how much time he has left.
Well, it's much better than watching Bryn Forbes chuck up threes because you know.
Jesus Christ, Bryn Forbes. Yeah, so my man shot 20% from three that game.
It wasn't fun to watch him, just disrupting the offense with. It was open looks, but it just wasn't fun watching him brick all the time.
I guess it wasn't his night. Damn.
It's not really his season though.
Nah, I'd put Derek White over him. Would you?
I would. Even though he's shooting 40% from three this season, but he's fallen off from what he was a season before. And I think Derek White should definitely have the shooting guard spot ahead of Bryn Forbes.
I agree with you on that part. I agree with you as well on that.
All right.
On the next game, we have Portland and Indiana. I watched some of the game. I watched some of it. I was like, wow. I was a little bit, I don't know how to explain it. I do not know how to explain it. I guess I could say it was an all-around game from both teams. Nothing truly overwhelming, but nothing underwhelming either. It was at least for my part, it was happy seeing Yusuf Nurkic come back.
Oh yeah, Nurk. My boy had 14 and 8.
14-8, shooting 60% from the field, 100% made all his free throws. It's happy to see him back. He was a solid piece for Portland.
It's also nice to see Collins back.
Zach Collins as well. Good to see him back as well.
What do you think is going to happen when Hassan Whiteside is going to come back? Because he didn't play because of an Achilles problem.
Right now, I don't see Achilles problems have they have a history of not ruining careers, but at least delaying your play for a whole season. We could see that with DeMarcus Cousins.
It's like a small issue.
It's a small issue.
Yeah.
I guess he'd come back a little bit sluggish. But wait, how many years does he have on his contract?
It's his last year.
Oh well,
he's
gonna play well. You can tell he's gonna play well during his contract year.
But how do you think he's gonna fit with Nurk?
I don't think it'll work out. If they do Nurkic a power forward and Hassan Whiteside center, personally, I don't see how it could work. Just because Damian Lillard, he needs space to do his thing, and CJ needs space as well. So I think it'd be better if they had Zach Collins, who can at least shoot a little bit for three. So I think Zach Collins would be a better power forward spot than what Hassan Whiteside does, because Hassan Whiteside doesn't shoot.
I can tell you one instance where this could actually work.
Oh wait, how could it?
If they do decide to get the 8th seed and they face the Los Angeles Lakers, who do have Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee, I think having Nurkic and Hassan could be a good thing.
Yeah, but
because they both can defend bigs pretty well. The only problem would be how to guard Davis at the perimeter. But other than that, I think that's the only way it could actually work.
Yeah, I think it could work, but right now I don't see it working as well. Just because, as you said, Hassan Whiteside had the Achilles injury.
But I think it's just like a precaution. It's not something that's actually gonna derail or anything. It's like having Kemba on the knee issue, but he's still fine.
Yeah, but the leading scorer for the game with Indiana, Mario Hezonja, had 15. It's been a while since I've seen Mario Hezonja. I remember when we saw him get drafted, he hit a game winner during summer league and he looked really promising. But
I loved his jump shot. That's the one thing that I loved watching him.
His jump shot was nice.
Yeah, it still is.
The form is good, but I guess he needs to improve on almost everything else, because he's been bouncing around with a few teams and his stats haven't been that great for his career, at least.
Yeah, I also like having Carmelo start at the small forward. He slimmed down. But you think that's going to be a positive thing for them?
I think it could. Yeah, I think it could be a positive thing for them because with Melo playing the power forward, he's more like a bully ball type player, and if he slims down at least a little bit, but formidable in strength at the small forward spot, I could see him do well. But versus the likes of LeBron, I don't see. I mean, if they face the Lakers, I don't see him guarding LeBron as well, just because LeBron is a specimen, a freak, like freak of nature.
I don't think anybody can guard LeBron.
Yeah, so I'd say it's tough for Melo to guard small forwards just because they're quicker. But if he's slimming down, I could see him maybe catching up, but I think his age is just at this point where he won't be able to guard as well.
Going back to your point about the reserves, having Mario Hezonja have a good game. Also, Gary Trent had a pretty decent game, scoring 12 points. And they really need their bench players to step it up because they're the 30th team ranked for bench points. So they're the worst team in bench points, and they really need their players to step up if they want to make it to the 8th seed.
Yeah, I'm expecting Damian Lillard and CJ to... I'm at least expecting Damian to pop off because he was averaging... I remember, not averaging, but he was having that one stretch during the regular season where he was averaging somewhat over 40 points. Around that mark. He dropped like 60 versus Golden State. And I would... Damn. He's one of the only players I'd have to say I could guard half court. Like, until half court, other than Stephen Curry. I think Damian Lillard is the second closest because he's been called Logo Lillard this season for a little while as well.
You know who I would also guard at the logo?
Who?
Davis Bertans.
Yeah, he's shooting insanely well as well.
Sadly, we won't see him, but that's another topic.
Well, it is what it is, I guess.
What did you like from Indiana?
What I like from Indiana, I like the Holiday brothers. I'm glad that they played really well. Let me see.
They combined for 29.
I know. I liked Aaron Holiday. I'm glad that he played well. He had 50% from the field, although the threes weren't there as much. He had a nice 13-point game. So I guess that's good. And also Justin Holiday with 16 and 2. So I'm glad the Holiday players are playing well. At least for the scrimmage. But Indiana going forward, I don't know if they'll make as much noise because Sabonis is gone. He has that injury that happened.
He left the bubble as well to get treatment.
Left the bubble to get treatment. He is he was an all-star this season. He was a crucial part for them. So I guess, wait, did Indiana start Jakar Sampson at center?
They did.
Wow. I did not expect
But actually,
that.
he was a nice spark that game, and he fights for everything. And if they did have their full lineup, he probably wouldn't get any minutes. But it's nice to have your, deep bench player.
It's nice. It's also nice experimenting, like how Denver did. It's at least nice to see what other unorthodox lineup could work.
But I think after this game, you could see how Jakar Sampson could earn some minutes.
Yeah, he could earn some minutes gladly. Looking at his stats here, he had an all-around game. And when you're playing next to Brogdon, Aaron Holiday, Justin Holiday, and Oladipo, who are scorers, producing that stat line, I'd say it's pretty impressive, to be honest.
They really need Turner back fast if they want to at least keep their 5th spot in which they're right now.
Yeah, what happened to Miles Turner? Well, I didn't really... I know something happened, but I didn't really know what happened.
He has a calf injury. He isn't going to scrimmage, but he's day-to-day, so it should be fine.
Oh, I think he should be fine coming back. But wait, hasn't Miles Turner been in a few trade rumors as well?
He has, because he hasn't had a particularly good season this year, having Domantas Sabonis pop off that much.
Yeah, and there are also these comments when, if they're on the floor together, could it really work out? A little bit of optimism, I guess you can say.
Most of the times it hasn't, but there's some games where he shows his potential. He just hasn't kept the same consistency throughout.
I know. I hope he does well though. I like the Miles Turner. I'm glad that he can shoot for a center. I like centers who can shoot. It fits the modern game way too well. The next game, which was in my opinion, one of the most high-touted games this, at least for this scrimmage, and one that I was really excited about, was the Lakers versus the Mavericks. Speaking again with Terrence Ross and his comments with, no crowd and the rim, you can focus easier. Seth Curry popped off this game.
Oh yeah, 6 for 6 from three. Didn't miss a shot.
I mean, damn, what more can you ask for? I mean, what we talked about with 2K, Seth Curry is a goat in simulating.
Miley Goat, shout out to Seth Curry.
Miley goat, shout out Seth Curry with simulating. But other than that, Luka Doncic producing a really good stat line with 14 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists in almost 17 minutes. That made me really happy. And as well as Boban with a double-double, 17 and 13.
Boban was nasty.
Boban was hitting threes as well.
He was guarding Howard. He didn't even jump to block Howard. That's how dominant he is.
Damn. And I just wish that Boban would hit more threes, and I wish he would have more minutes consistently. But if he could hit, if Boban would hit threes, I think he could be a really good part for the team moving forward.
I don't really have much to say about Kristaps. He only had 8 points. He did get 5 fouls, so he was on a minutes restriction that wise. But I think he's a really integral piece for them moving forward, and even right now, having Dwight Powell injured, they really need Porzingis to carry the load. Being one of their only good big men, even though they do have Maxi Kleber, but Dwight Powell was starting for them, so I think Porzingis now sliding into that center spot for the second half of the season. He's shown promises, and I really hope he continues to do that.
Somebody who I at least hope gets to have a chance to shine during the playoffs is DeLon Wright. I thought when the Dallas picked up DeLon Wright, it was a really underrated signing. I thought he was really good. Where did he play before Dallas? Wasn't it Toronto?
Toronto, yeah.
Yeah, so before Dallas, he was in Toronto, and I thought he showed a lot of promise.
Didn't he get traded with Jonas Valanciunas for Marc Gasol?
For Marc Gasol?
He was with the Raptors, but he got traded to the Grizzlies.
Did he play for the Grizzlies though?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
I think so.
Yeah, I think he did. But he's an underrated player. I thought he deserves a lot more recognition for at least what he's doing. I think he can start for a few teams personally, but not the good teams. More like maybe he can start for the Knicks, for example. At least right now, I think he's starting caliber.
Could be, yeah. I think he does get a lot of minutes for the Mavericks, and he's a solid role player, and he could even be the starter for some of the teams.
Yeah, I'm really happy. But other than that, I hope Jalen Brunson and Trey Burke, hope they get to do some stuff as well. I thought Jalen Brunson played. Although he's a little bit inconsistent at times, I thought he was playing well in the games that he did. He got to show what he could do. I was really impressed when I saw Jalen Brunson at times as well.
One thing I wanted to say about Dallas, or Luka in particular, is he has to work on his free throws. My guy shot 3 of 6, and he's had issues shooting free throws, as well as 3-pointers. So I think he should, look at that. He's only shooting 32% from 3, and 73% free throw isn't that bad, but there's some things he can improve on.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
What about the Lakers?
The Lakers, I wish the Lakers. I wish I could see LeBron play over 30 minutes in these scrimmage games, and if he really tried, because I miss basketball that much. I wanted to see LeBron, dominate the entire game, but he played around 15 and a half minutes, had a great stat line with 12, 3, and 5, and a steal, shooting 66% from the field. I'm really happy. The Lakers are looking really good. I remember we once talked about the Lakers point guard spot because Rajon Rondo got injured. So it was glad to see Quinn Cook play well with 13 points.
And he had the most minutes in the team. 20 minutes.
That's Damn. I mean, it feels really good to see him, play flourish well. Dion Waiters, and my bad for going off track, but Dion Waiters is back, and he had 9 points, and I'm a little bit, this is what LA has to do, because Avery Bradley is gone as well, so they had to put J.R. Smith and Dion Waiters back in the team. And I remember it was fun. It's funny thinking about it because they were fighting for a spot on the rotation. At least before. Because when LA didn't they have this thing where there was only one spot open and it was a mix between JR and Dion Waiters?
I cannot comment on that. I don't know actually.
But
I think maybe, and then they decided to go with Dion.
I think they went on with Dion, but then something happened with the player, and now J.R. Smith is in as well.
Caruso didn't play. I think that maybe could explain why Cook got so many minutes. What do you think of KCP getting the point guard spot instead of Avery Bradley?
KCP instead of Avery Bradley?
In the starting lineup, yeah.
I was a little bit confused just because I don't see Caldwell Pope as a playmaker. I see more Avery Bradley as more of a point guard than KCP as a point guard.
I don't think neither of them really play point guard. They just need like a guard player. I think the player who takes it up the court is LeBron anyway. But what do you think of having KCP instead of like any other player in the starting lineup?
I mean, I guess it's reasonable. I mean, if they're having LeBron dribble up the ball, I guess they're going to need that catch-and-shoot corner guy. So I guess Caldwell Pope fits that mold. But I don't see the problems with Avery Bradley either. I mean, Avery Bradley can defend. Avery Bradley can shoot. But isn't he injured?
He's not going to play. I think it's because of his family issues.
Oh, of course. Wait.
Yeah.
I'm not
family issues. Yeah.
I thought he was injured for a little sec. My bad.
No. Yeah, I think something to do with his kid.
Of course. Oh, I remember that now. Yeah, he was talking about how everything mattered for his family. I gotta respect it. I respect it that family over everything.
Yeah.
I mean, Dwight, I'm excited to see what he does because he had a little resurgence during the season. I mean, he almost had a double-double, and he also had... I thought he had a few blocks, but I'm glad that he at least has a little, almost like a miniature double-double as well.
Shout out to JaVale. He played great.
Oh, yeah, JaVale played great as well. 8, 1, and 1.
It's been nice seeing his growth over the past couple of years to being like a player who, almost laughable because he was on Shackton so much.
Yeah.
And then getting picked up by Golden State, having a solid role player spot, and now he's on the basically close to a championship level Lakers team who could win the championship this year, and he's your starting center.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Also crazy to think that he replaces DeMarcus Cousins as the starting center, because when you remember DeMarcus Cousins a few years ago, he was absolutely insane on the court.
Yeah, hope Cousins gets back and he's better than ever.
I hope he finds his plays back because we love watching DeMarcus Cousins playing really aggressively. But I'm back to JaVale. I remember I saw this one video where they were talking about JaVale McGee's career, how it became from a young kid and doing all these boneheaded plays to a championship team. It was crazy to think that he was drafted by the Wizards, but it was that time when they had Gilbert Arenas on the team. And it was all of those instances and stuff. I think it was really crazy that imagine that you're like a teenager and you get drafted into that team.
Hasn't Arenas had like a history of
I know. Yeah, I guess he's had a history, but imagine if you were an 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid, and you get drafted into that locker room. Because I heard it was crazy in those locker rooms. With all the...
Arenas is crazy in general. The guy broke in Nick Young's house and hassled this child.
I know. I saw that for
that thing's crazy.
God damn, Gilbert. But hey, I won't take anything away from Gilbert Arenas. I think he was, Agent Zero, absolutely amazing player.
He was talking about the Lakers and Kyle Kuzma. He had a pretty poor shooting night. He hasn't been great this season, but I think he's like the X factor. If he plays good, I think the team is almost unbeatable.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I was having a few high hopes for Kyle Kuzma this game because the reports, at least before the games, that Kyle Kuzma was the best player on the court during practice. So I thought he'd been playing really well. I didn't expect him to shoot 30% from the field this game.
Well, hopefully they have a game on tonight at early games, so hopefully he plays get better then.
Yeah, let's hope that it gets better. Guess for the next one we have the Utah Jazz versus the Phoenix Suns. I was a little bit more excited about this one because of the whole COVID thing with Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, he played really well this game. 17 points, 4 assists in 21 minutes. I'm really impressed. Jordan Clarkson, he also cements himself as a key player for this team in the sixth-man position with 14 points and 5 rebounds.
5 of 14 though.
I know, that ain't good. But,
I have a question for you.
All right.
The Jazz had the number one offense after the Clarkson trade, but after, Bogdanovich went down, where do you think they're going to rank now?
Where I think they're going to rank, I think it's tough to say because Bogdanovich was such a great piece for them this season. He averaged nearly 20 points per game. But I can and when I'm looking at the roster now, I don't see that much bench depth. I do not see that much. So I guess they could drop a bit to maybe the 10th best offense, around that mark.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty big blow losing Bogdanovich like that.
I know, as well as, although I saw there were these comments about if Rudy should get this max extension, the super max extension, because he made the All NBA team last season. Personally, yeah. I don't think he's worthy of that max extension contract. I mean,
he can't shoot.
He can't. His defense is absolutely incredible. I won't take anything away from him, but he's gonna have to show some more offensive game to earn that contract. At least a mid-range. At least maybe a shot off the around free throw line area. If he gets a jump shot there, I could see how he could, help space the floor a little bit, but his offensive game is so limited right now. I don't see him. I think he should get a nice extension, but not too much.
Talking about, centers in general, shooting or not shooting. I've seen video clips of Rudy, practicing the three, and he's pretty much making a lot of them in practice. Of course, in game is different, but I think a lot of the players who don't shoot can actually shoot. And it's just a matter of them, having the green light from the coaches.
Yeah, I remember.
As well as the confidence.
Yeah, I'll add to that. I remember there was a little, I guess Drummond and Hassan White had a little beef about, they were shooting. I think one or the other, they were both shooting threes in practice and stuff like that, or sending videos of them shooting threes or hitting threes. I think Hassan Whiteside said, it's not about, you shooting threes, it's about if the coach lets you take them.
Yeah.
So I could just imagine Hassan Whiteside with that flat arc shooting from deep, but it'd be nice to see that if players actually have the green light.
4-7 this year, Hassan Whiteside.
Damn, wait, do you know if they were the end of the shot clock or if they were catch and shoot, in game?
Good question. I think some of them were, in the motion, not really end of the shot clock, but they weren't bad shots. He was open. He let it fly, and most of them went in.
I mean, I'm expecting, of course, Hassan Whiteside shoots 4 of 7 during his contract year.
Yep.
All right. Now Phoenix, with how they played, I'm looking at the stats right now. A solid all-around performance from many players. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in double digits in scoring.
Can you believe Cameron Payne had a breakdown game?
I mean, personally, I couldn't believe it. I saw him play for a little bit, and I'm like, damn, that's Cameron Payne. I saw him in the Bulls, he was not good at all. Saw him in OKC, Dancing with Russ. Didn't do that much either.
That's the only thing you remember.
From Dancing with Russ in OKC, yeah. But it's great seeing someone like Cameron Payne having a great game like this. It just, when I'm looking at this, it just proves that NBA players really are, they're a lot better than you think.
Any player can pop off, really. It's just about getting the chance.
I mean, yeah, look. Cameron Payne shot 71% from the field, 11, 5, and 2. I'll gladly take that. Also, what?
I won't because he probably won't play any minutes when the
Oh
actual
my
season
god!
resumes.
Oh my god! It has to. I mean, it's a Although it's a scrimmage. Long story short, I'm glad seeing Cameron Payne, doing this, playing well. One who surprised me pleasantly as well was McCall Bridges. I was raving about him this season, but although he didn't do as much as I wanted him to this season, he at least does something good, and that is on the defensive side. He had one steal. No, that isn't that much, but his offensive game looked really well, shooting 50% from three, with hitting one out of his two.
I want to shout out DeAndre Ayton, my guy, 13 and 8. He missed only one shot, but he scored a three, his first three of his Phoenix career. You would think he scored a three before, but no, this is actually his
I
first
know.
three.
I haven't watched Suns games because I'm a Celtics fan. I swore he shot threes in college. I could
He
swear
did,
that he was shooting.
and that's why
threes.
it's so surprising
Oh my
that he's
goodness!
first three only now.
Oh, if only he'd shoot. I mean, has he at least attempted threes, or is it like
He has, but looking at the stats, it's 0.1 threes per game, so that could be anywhere from
from the end of shot clock to a half court shot?
he could have just shot 5 threes, like his previous season. So that's nothing. Like you need to shoot every game.
I'd say at least maybe 2 to 3
Yeah,
attempt.
and for a guy like Aiton who can actually score them, why not?
I know, yeah. But how I see, at least, I'm looking at their lineup and whether they can catch that 8 seed. I don't see do you see it as likely? I don't know if I see it as likely because other than Devin Booker and a little bit of Ayton, I don't see anybody else who could legit, help them come over the hump.
It's a fat note from me because they have a pretty tough schedule as well, and they are the last place, 13th. And I see much better chances from the Pelicans and Blazers, so I don't see the Suns making it.
Yeah. Do you think Devin Booker should get traded from Phoenix if ever that scenario would happen? Because didn't he get a huge extension with the Suns?
He did, and probably if he did, then it was his decision to stay there. I actually would like to see him, play there for a couple more years and see what he can do as the first option.
I just hope that they don't waste, his prime there because I won't never stop thinking about the Luka draft and how Vlade Divac is not a fan of Luka Doncic's father, and they could just imagine if Phoenix got Luka Doncic instead of Ayton. Just imagine the position they'd be in.
The thing is, Ayton's not bad, but yeah, having Luka, that would be tremendous for them.
I mean, I'm not taking any away from Ayton. Ayton's a solid player, but imagine if they had Luka and Devin Booker on the same team. I think they'd be around, at least in the playoffs.
You really think so?
I mean, if you're looking at what Luka's averaging, imagine if he had Devin Booker with him. Luka can play make, Luka can shoot. The Devin Booker can, he's an insane scorer as well. I think those two would work great together. Although Luka is a very ball-dominant player, I won't discredit Devin Booker off the ball. I like that he comes off screens as well for a few times as well. And getting the shot. So personally, I think they could make the playoffs if they were playing together.
They need Baines back. I think Baines has been a huge part of their season. He played really well at the start of the season. Same with Kelly Oubre.
I know.
And Ricky Rubio. Aaron Baines is still in Phoenix. He has COVID. And Ricky and Kelly, they didn't participate in the scrimmage, but they should be back with the team shortly.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Aaron Baines the first part of the season, and I remember that one game he had versus Portland, I think, where he was just draining so many threes. He had 30-something points.
As a Celtics fan, I miss him.
Yeah, I miss him too. But in the game where he had 30, I remember it was this insane play where he just took a step back three as if it was nothing.
Oh, yeah. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, and he was playing really well for us Celtics as well. Knowing that we are not a good rebounding team, we miss him. We really miss him. All right, so I guess that's done for those games. We have three more games now. We have the Philadelphia 76ers versus Memphis Grizzlies. To be honest, I was really excited to see the new lineup they had constructed with Joel Embiid at center, Ben Simmons power forward, and a player who I'm excited for, Shake Milton at point guard. Tobias Harris, he played really well. Joel Embiid, 10 and 6. Ben Simmons, almost a triple double as well. I'm
In only 23 minutes.
only 23 minutes.
And being a power forward as well.
I know. It's finally glad to see him, shoot threes, Like, it's good to see him make one, Because it's just, I want to see Ben Simmons succeed. I really want to.
He shoots them in the scrimmage, but I'm actually... Do you think he'll shoot them in the actual games, though?
I mean...
I hope so.
I hope so, but he said he's not shooting to be a 30% three-point shooter, but to be a 40%. However, everybody's got to start somewhere. I mean...
Yeah.
I think you should at least... if you're getting enough criticism about you not even shooting at all, and if you really want to prove that, you're a really good player, like, you're worthy of, being a solid number one option, I say you should shoot them. I mean, at least show your worth, but I'm not discrediting Ben Simmons. He is amazing at every other category other than shooting.
I don't think he'll be the main option even if he shoots threes, but I think it's a nice thing to add to his game to provide more spacing for other players.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think Joel Embiid, I love Joel, but I think at times he falls flat a little bit too much for me at times because, I see him play and I'm like, yes, he is absolutely amazing, but the games where I see, he plays absolutely amazing are versus mostly teams that aren't that good defensively, like a little bit, like teams that are, I guess, fringe in the playoff spot. For example, versus Atlanta, he had a career high there. I think he had over 40 points, over 50 points. However, this season when he played versus Toronto again, I don't think he had a single point. So
Yeah.
I wish Joel Embiid would be more consistent, as well as that. I mean, there were problems with his hustle as well. I saw when they once played Milwaukee, we're seeing Giannis out here. Milwaukee, they're up versus Philadelphia. I know that's for sure. And we keep seeing Giannis diving after the ball as if it's in the beginning of the game while Joel Embiid is jogging back. I think that's where some criticism comes for Philadelphia as well. Not only with, Ben Simmons shooting and Joel Embiid's work. I just think also it's a little bit chemistry here and there, and also a mash of play styles because Joel Embiid needs to be in the post. Ben Simmons doesn't necessarily shoot, so that just cramps him in the paint. But with their lineup, I'm glad to see right now that Shake Milton will be at the point guard because him and Josh Richardson, they can shoot kind of well, and Tobias Harris, he'll shoot. He won't shoot necessarily lights out, but he'll be formidable from the three as well.
I think Shake Milton provides that spacing. Before that, their spacing was terrible. I think the chair spacing between the players was better than the spacing for Philadelphia in game. You get what I mean, right? You've seen like the bench for the players.
Yeah, I've seen it.
They're sitting in 3 rows.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty crazy.
I think it's pretty cool. But
yeah, but
about the
also Korkmaz scored. They need their bench players. They have a lot of decent bench players, but oh yeah, Norval Pell. I forgot to talk about Norval Pell. Boy was 4 of 4. He made a 3.
Okay.
Did you know
I
that?
did not know that he made a 3.
He made a ended the shot clock, like running away from the basket, pull up 3, fade away. Beautiful stuff.
Damn, Norval Pell be shooting threes now, huh?
I don't think that's gonna last though.
Nah, I doubt that lasts. But another game which I like, is a nice little underrated performance, is everybody's favorite rookie now, Matisse Thybulle. 5 points, 2 rebounds. No. Yeah, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals.
And a nice dunk as well.
And a nice poster dunk. He shot 25% from 3. That's not that good. But Matisse Thybulle has grown a lot in popularity right now because he does those vlogs in the bubble, and I've been paying attention. It's been really nice watching.
Who do you think has the best vlogs?
Personally, I think it's Matisse.
I think it's because he edits them himself, and those are pretty good edits.
They're
actually.
pretty good edits. Plus, he said that I saw that his favorite YouTuber was Casey Neistat. Yeah, I could see I could see how Matisse, how he acts. I could see how that's his favorite, and I really like Matisse is taking the time to edit and give back by showing how it is inside the bubble, because us fans, we've been barely seeing anything other than a few Instagram live videos.
Yeah.
So it's great to see a breath of fresh air with Matisse Seibel, who shows a more in depth of how everything is in the bubble. Other than Memphis, their start was not good at all for this game. They had 12 points in the first quarter, and they had 16 in the second. Combining of 28, and then 76ers, they had 25 and 29, combining for 54. I mean, geez, what an insane start for Philadelphia. But do you think it's more that it's Memphis's bad start, or just that Philadelphia has a great start?
I think Philadelphia is a bad matchup for Memphis, in my opinion, and it only showed in the first half. But what I did like from Memphis is Kyle Anderson. He scored 4 threes, even though his career high before that was 2. So we had a 3-point shootout between Ben Simmons and Kyle Anderson, which we all expected, of course. He played really well, and also Jonas played well. Jonas Valanciunas,
Yeah,
20 and 11.
I like that during that game, Jonas Valanciunas was about to shoot a 3, and Joel Embiid waves him off. And then Valanciunas hits the 3, and then he waves him off back. I thought that was funny.
Oh, he did that, really?
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. Plus, Jonas Valanciunas is a new look as well. Decides to represent Walter White from Breaking Bad with that skin headcut.
Beautiful stuff.
Hey, it's good.
The 5-man lineup played a lot of minutes for Memphis, and I can see how they do that because they're trying their best to get their main players ready for the start of the season, because they need every win they can get to hold off that A spot. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to obviously play really well to hold up the 8 spot. Somebody who I believe could make a little bit noise for Memphis is DeAnthony Melton. I think he's a good defender, and looking at his stats on this scrimmage, 10-2-2, which is solid. But for them to keep going through the season, I think we're going to have to see great play from their bench, because their bench isn't really that impressive. So I think Kyle Anderson and DeAnthony Melton they're going to have to do more for them to keep the 8 spot, because Memphis has a tough schedule ahead, don't they?
I'll check that out, but before that, another topic to talk about is Justice Winslow. I think he's in the same category as Marvin Bagley.
He's had
just being made out of glass because he's injured again.
He's
not going to play.
I know. I was really happy when I saw them get Justice Winslow. He's still a young player full of promise. When he comes back, I believe Memphis will take another little step. At least be more of a secure spot in the playoffs instead of necessarily fighting for it.
Like he's a good point forward. He's had some really good games starting this season, but just not a lot of sample size, and I'm really sad about that.
Although they got Justice Winslow, do you think maybe Memphis could have done differently with how they traded Iguodala? Do you think maybe they could have gotten another shooter, for example, instead?
That's a good question. Well, you can always Justice has a good contract, so you can always look to trade him if there's a better opportunity. I think that's probably just the best trade they could have gotten. And I think it's a good trade for both teams. Miami trades a player who's been constantly injured this year, but he has a lot of potential. And Miami gets back 2 players in Iguodala and Jake Crowder, who are veterans and can, provide for the team that's actually trying to make a legit push for the championship.
It's good to see that it's a win-win for both teams. Looking at the lineups now, I see Josh Jackson, 0 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. I mean, it's so sad to see that a number 4 overall pick has produces those kinds of numbers, because I remember when we were at the draft, we were debating whether to draft Jason Tatum or Josh Jackson. And I thought to myself, it'd be good to get Josh Jackson. He can defend really well, and I think he can score the ball a bit. But looking at him now, I mean, he was in the G League for a while, wasn't he as well?
Yeah, we made the correct choice.
We drafted Jason Tatum. I mean, ever since his beard was fully grown, I mean, he's literally everything we've wanted.
Looking at you were talking about the Grizzlies' schedule.
Mm-hmm.
They have a pretty tough schedule. The only games they could actually win, there's a game against the Spurs, and there are two games that are probably gonna decide like the whole outcome of who gets the 8th seed, or if they even get in the play-in tournament. They have a game against the Trailblazers and the Pelicans.
Ooh, those are crucial.
All are pretty close. So those games are going to be really interesting to watch.
Those games are going to be real. I'm really excited for those games. I'm excited to see Zion versus Ja battle again. I think that'll be a great watch.
Have they played against each other?
I
know they have. They have.
Yeah.
There's a picture of them jersey swap.
I know. I'm excited to see them, play each other again. I'm really excited for that. All right, I guess we can go now to the second to last game for today. We have the game that we watched yesterday, Oklahoma City versus Boston. Jason Tatum didn't do much for 18 minutes. Notably, not many did a lot for us, other than Enes Kanter with a double-double, 11 and 10. Other than
Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown
was
good.
The only formidable player who actually, had his feet behind him and could actually score a bucket.
Yeah, he looked like he was ready. Jason Tatum, he did not look like he was necessarily as ready. He shot 16% from the field this game.
Yeah, and same with Hayward. He did shoot 42%, but his shot looked rusty. Same with Marcus Smart. Same with the bench, who was awful. But I guess you could explain that with having the bench play on their own without any starters.
Yeah, I guess for them it was more of like an experience, get some experience under your belt. I think that's more what Brad Stevens wanted with this game.
First half they played the starters and their regular rotation guys, and the second half they played only the youngsters. So I can see how they could shoot poorly because they didn't have shot creators, so they had to figure it out how to do it themselves.
Mm-hmm. But for notable bench performances, at least for us, I was really pleased with Tremont Waters. I thought he outplayed his draft position. I thought if we would have swapped Carson Edwards and Tremont Waters, at least in the draft position, I would have believed that Tremont Waters played, at the end of the lottery, and Carson Edwards would have played as a second round player, because Carson Edwards, he hasn't necessarily shown that much. He shot 25% from the field, and his 3-point percentage was 0. He didn't even hit a single 3, which is, I guess, what we drafted him for. However, with what we're seeing from Tremont Waters is we get solid, for at least what I see, we get nice playmaking and nice defense. And he was also the Rookie of the Year in the G League, which proves his worth as well.
Third in MVP voting as well.
In the G League?
Yeah.
Damn, I did not know that. But
talking about Carson, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
We know what he can do. We saw him in Summer League. He's a spark plug. He can hit a 3 anytime you need it. But with the Celtics, he just tries so hard to prove something, but hasn't really done too much. So it's really unfortunate to see what's happening. But I do believe that he could stick with the lineup for the next couple of years and could carve himself a decent role-playing spot.
Yeah, I hope.
Role-player spot. Yeah.
I guess after Javonte Green and after Brad Wanamaker's contracts are up, for us at least, I could see Carson Edwards jumping up. I just think right now, with how he's been playing, it's not been as well. But I think with experience, he'll prove himself a lot more. I believe in Carson Edwards. He was really good in college. A really good streaky shooter in college.
Well, like overall, I just think Boston looked rusty, and they even Jalen Brown said they didn't look as well as they wanted to. So now they have just a couple days to figure out, um, what's wrong and how to fix it.
Yeah,
But okay,
the
yeah,
only thing that I hope is that Kemba comes back. Hope Kemba comes
yeah,
back and plays well, because we could see that there was a difference in how we played when Kemba wasn't there.
yeah. We like Kemba's a really great fit for the Celtics.
Yeah, it's a great fit. But I'm not even gonna enough about the Celtics. The Oklahoma City Thunder. I love Steven Adams. Okay, I love him as a player when he's playing against other teams. But I've never hated the man so much as yesterday. We are Celtics fans, as you guys know, and Steven Adams just straight up just destroyed the boards. He had 17 points and 7 rebounds, and it felt like he got it in the first quarter. He was that good.
The thing is, he did like basically first and second quarter. That's when he just popped off.
I mean, jeez. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as well, proving his worth with 17, 3, and 2, shooting 50% from the field. I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has surprised a lot of people this season. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Chris Paul and Dennis Schroeder and Gallinari, but obviously Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a really big bright spot as well for their success.
He's gonna be a star.
He is going to be a star in this league. And also, Andre Roberson's back.
Finally.
Finally. I mean, last time I remember I saw him, he was in OKC when Kevin Durant still played there. So I guess that's how long he's been away. It feels like, I think it was around a whole 2 years he's been gone.
Almost 3 years if he didn't play now.
Almost 3 as well, yeah. And he was hitting threes, which surprised me. I mean, Andre Roberson hitting threes coming back, I mean, it's pretty nice to see, to be honest.
Oklahoma looks really promising. Their lineup with Chris Paul, Shai, Dennis Schroeder, Gallinari, and Adams. Uh, one of the best lineups, 5-man lineups in the whole NBA. And they actually have a good bench now, or like at least a bench that can work with Nerlens Noel, uh, Andre Roberson. Darius basically had a really good game as well, and he's a young guy who could uh, produce the numbers. Uh,
Yeah, he could do well.
what did you like?
I really liked Abdul Nader for Oklahoma this game.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he used to play for us, and I mean, most notoriously for us, he was known for missing 4 free throws in a row
against the Pelicans.
against the
yeah.
Pelicans, yeah, when we needed him the most. So I guess that was a turning point for him and our team. But in Oklahoma, I guess he's had a little turnaround. Again, I remember you told me a long time ago, his minutes are in the teens area. So I guess between
Yeah.
10 and 20, and he's been shooting all right. And for this game, he proved his worth. 11 points, two rebounds in 12, almost 13 minutes. I mean, we could see Abdul Nader, play really well versus us yesterday. Hitting his shots.
One thing I didn't mention with the lineups and everything is Luguentz Dort.
Oh yeah,
You said ever since he got the starting lineup, they've had a pretty good record. I can't name it on the top of my head, but it was a really good record ever since he has the starting lineup spot. So he's also one of the players who can contribute to a team, and I could see them also pull off an upset in the first round
yeah. I mean,
and make it deep in the playoffs. Their team is really good actually.
yeah, it's really nice. And with Lorenz Dort, what I like about him is that he is a really good defender. So he'll probably guard your best perimeter player for a lot of the times, which makes me really happy because I thought he should get more recognition than what he gets. I like that
Schroeder's also a really good defender.
Oh, Schroeder.
He guards Harden really well.
I know Schroeder was really good this season. I thought he is the prime 6-man of the year candidate this season.
Yep.
The Toronto Raptors, I got what I expected. I got a nice, solid, all-around performance from quite a few players. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in double figures. One who knew will never let me down, at least several times, is Norman Powell. 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals in 18 minutes. I've been
Norm the Storm.
I've been vouching
He's had a great season.
I've been vouching for Norman Powell for years now. Ever since I saw him in that one playoff series where he dropped a little bit over 20 points, I thought to myself, he will at least stay in the league for many years. And in 18 minutes with 12 points, I won't say no to that. Although he shot 14% from 3, which I don't like, he shot a little bit over 40%, which is not as good either. The 3 steals, I mean, right now, he led the team that game in steals.
The players that surprised me were Serge Ibaka. Or didn't surprise me. We know he's a good player, but he had a really good game. He was 8 of 10 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. 18, 3, and 2 as his stats. He looked like their best player out there today.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Pascal doing Pascal things. He did miss all of his 3 threes that he shot. But we know what he can do, and we know what he will be when he gets more playing time. But also, Chris Boucher with a plus 21.
That's
the most plus minus out of like any player in his team, and Rondé Hollis-Jefferson.
Yeah, I was gonna talk.
Like
I was gonna talk about. I'm sorry. I was gonna talk about Rondé Hollis-Jefferson afterwards, but you can go ahead.
Yeah. He basically had a 9-0 run by himself. Like you can just see his stats. They're all around, and he played really well. And their bench is really good. And I think Rondé can be that spark plug. Yeah. What do you want to add?
I mean, I remember once, think when Rondé Hollis-Jefferson was running rookie at that point when he played for Brooklyn. I remember people saying that when Hollis-Jefferson is in the lineup, like the team net rating or some sort of team rating goes in the plus direction. So I was thinking, okay, he could make a pretty good. He could make it pretty well if he's in the right system. I think Toronto's a solid system for him right now. Because
it's like a redemption season.
Yeah, because the way Toronto does it is that because they have bench players who wants to prove their worth and they're playing well, he is a part of that rotation. He's, like with Toronto, I would not be surprised if I saw them play a 9-man rotation, 10-man rotation in the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised because they have so many gritty players who are like desperate to prove themselves.
Shout out Terrence Ross again. Matt Thomas, their best 3-point shooter, 2 of 3.
Hey, that's pretty good. I'm glad he played well as well. I wish I could see Stanley Johnson a little bit more, but I haven't seen him ever since his rookie season when he played LeBron in the playoffs, and he was just
because he's also invisible on the court and he's pretty bad.
Yeah, I remember he was trying to lock up LeBron. He was like clapping on defense, but I don't think that worked out. But for Houston, James Harden, he scored 24 points and 10 assists in 25 minutes. I saw the game, and he looked like he was actually trying. Like, he gave solid effort even in a scrimmage game.
But, like, the points he scored, it looked so effortless. Like, the most quiet 24 points. Like, he just does it so easily.
It looks so easily. It looks like every bucket he gets is his first. I guess you can say it's his first bucket. Because it looks, yeah, as you said, it looks effortless. The step back, it looks like it's so slow. It looks like it's so slowly, but it's a good move that he perfected because it kind of lulls the defender to sleep. With what I saw.
Eric Gordon, he shot pretty badly, but he's also had nagging injuries. So I'm hoping he can get back to being that 40% 3-point shooter that he was. Daniel House, he played almost 31 minutes. And for a bench player playing a game that's 40 minutes long, that's a lot of minutes.
That is a lot of minutes. But he proved himself pretty well. He shot 50% from 3 with 18 points. Hit 3 out of his 6. That's really good.
And their bench needs to be great because
it
looks pretty bad right now.
I think obviously with their bench points, I think it was one of the worst in the league.
29 or no. It was the 28th, yeah, in the league.
And with having 2 ball dominant players in Russell Westbrook and James Harden, I believe they can surprise a few people, but that's if everything goes well within their system. and if they shoot well, because in the playoffs there's been history of them not hitting shots in the playoffs. Most notably when they went 0 for
Oh no.
27 versus Golden State. I just
I think every Houston fan is just scared of that. Oh, of 27, they just get super scared when
oh
somebody says that.
I know. I
Flashbacks.
thought it was a little bit suspicious when they got rid of Trevor Ariza, but I guess PJ Tucker and Robert Covington fills that mold good enough. But I really hope that Houston does well, because I want to see an unorthodox system like the lineup that they have with PJ Tucker at center. I want to see it work. I really do.
I don't really think it was Houston's decision to get rid of Ariza. He just got a fat contract, and the Rockets couldn't really do anything about it.
Didn't Ryan Anderson have the same issue?
Or he got paid by. Oh yeah,
He
wait.
got paid by New
Didn't.
Orleans, didn't he? Before he got
But I
traded
think
there.
when he was a free agent, he signed with the Rockets on a huge deal. He was good for 1 or 2 seasons, but then,
He
yeah,
flared off. He flared off a bit.
yeah. But talking about the bench depth for the Rockets, we know it's been a huge issue, but they didn't have Austin Rivers and a guy I really like, Luke Mbamute, who had that plus 57 game,
Oh
which
yeah,
is one of the best games, plus minus games ever.
it was really I remember that game.
So if they have those two guys plus the bench they have with House, a little bit of Ben McLemore and Jeff Green, and they're starting small ball lineup, they're another team that could I'm actually excited to see if they can make it to the conference finals.
I think conference finals is where I draw the line, but I think they could make some noise in the playoffs.
And I'm also happy that Russell Westbrook had. He looked really explosive for having tested for COVID a couple of days ago. So I'm happy to see him, not losing any athleticism and being, having that motor.
Yeah, it feels good to see that he hasn't necessarily lost a step. It feels good to see that.
If we're done with the games, I have some other things I noticed that I want to talk about. Just two things, two small things.
All right.
You want to talk
All
about
right,
that?
what's up?
The first of all is I don't know if you've heard, but I think you probably have. They wanted to introduce sound noises,
Sound noises.
like crowd
Oh, yeah,
noises.
like from previous games.
Yeah, so try to imitate the home court advantage somehow.
Oh, okay.
So we had Heat, and they had the Let's Go Heat with you could see the fans on the LED boards.
Yeah,
Do you think that'll play much of a difference
in
though?
my opinion, I don't think it will, because as we mentioned several times with Terrence Ross, with what helped him improve the shooting is that there are no fans, because there's so many distractions going on. Personally, I don't see it could help necessarily home court advantage, but I understand what they're trying to do. It's just that the crowd plays a huge part. However, for some players, the crowd doesn't play a huge part. Some players some players don't need to feed off the crowd to play well. And I guess
I think it's the veterans in most part because they're used to it. But I think the young guys, they feed off the energy from the crowd a lot.
yeah, they would. So I could I could see the young players, they can maybe get a little bit flustered, but only time will tell. Only time will tell at this point.
And kind of with that noise thing, I also when somebody makes a free throw or whatever, they have a noise. Like perhaps Utah has that Mario mushroom.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And what I saw with Denver is I think somebody missed a free throw, and they had sounds of bruh and yeet.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, that was
that's just
that
hilarious.
was so funny.
And it sounded so funny when it was like that.
yeah. But I remember when I saw on the TV, I was watching the game, and when they missed the free throw, I just heard a big bruh from the TV, and I was thinking to myself, there are so many other funny catchphrases and sounds that we can put in for a missed free throw. I thought that was really funny when I heard that.
Also, I think not to do with the sounds, but you can hear very the most clear ball don't lie you've ever heard from Josef Nurkic.
Yeah, and we can also hear Carmelo Anthony,
Oh, yeah.
shouting all that stuff, getting a rebound.
But you could hear that like anytime. Like the thing with not having a crowd doesn't really impact. Like you can still hear when the crowd was there.
Yeah, I know, but with Melo doing those stuff with the rebounds and all that stuff, I think it's a great sign that the NBA is back after so long time of not having basketball. I mean, I think it's just perfect. Even listening to when the players are talking, I even
Yeah.
think that brings back like that home field, that home field. Yeah.
And the last thing, like I noticed, is sometimes it gets so quiet that you can hear the players like shoes, like the shoes with the floor, and it sounds like horses running. You know that sound, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
And it just sounds so iffy at some points, and I'm wondering if like NBA could do something to fix that because at some points it just really gets irritating. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't. But what I really would love to see is that they mic up a few players, and we can just hear while they're talking and all that stuff with no crowd. I thought that'd be amazing, but obviously it's PG, so I could see how it won't work.
A lot of censorship. Probably
A
everything
lot.
would be quiet because.
I mean, if imagine if Kevin Garnett was in the crowd and he'd be mic'd up, we'd probably have to censor like 50% of the entire game.
That's an understatement. I think
That is
like closer to 90.
understate. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. All right, so the NBA is back. We are happy that the season is back. We've reacted to all the games. We know obviously you guys have your own opinion as well. You guys can let us know if you feel like it. This is our first episode. This is what we've said with our opinion. We obviously gonna react to a lot more stuff as the season progresses, and stay tuned.
See you guys.